Just remembered some more things.
We used to go out on the bay, and we found there was a whole series of pillboxes and gun emplacements all around the bay, which came in very handy later when I turned my pictures and things over to the Navy intelligence.
Okay, tell about the ballet, the Royal Ballet.
Well, they danced for us, put on the show, and it was super. Of course, we'd never seen anything like it, and all the officers, everyone was invited. That was the day before they sailed, transport sailed. They were taken to San Francisco, I believe. And
Tell about how you happened to, how much of a notice you got to leave.
oh, one day, another nurse and I were on night duty, and we were sleeping. We had stayed up and done a little washing that morning, all the washing to do. And we're awakened, and they said we had to be packed and ready to leave at 5 o'clock that afternoon. And they brought the old transport crook into Diabetes Bay. And the reason we had to hurry was because of the ice. They were afraid that the ice then couldn't get out. They had sent an icebreaker in to break up the ice in the bay. And we made it. We packed everything and were ready to go on at 5 o'clock. And everybody was busy. They were doing all sorts of things. And one of the things they did was to get rid of the mules that we had used over there. And they shot them. And the Russian people came and they would catch the blood in buckets. And then they cut the meat, take it away. Of course, all the army had to show for their mules was the hook that was branded. They didn't care what happened to the rest of it.
So the hospitals were closed when you went.
The hospital was closed, yes.
Were all the Americans pulling out of Vladivostok?
Yeah, they were pulling out. I think they left a day or two after we did. I think we went out first. And there were two transports that took all the supplies and all that out. And
Now, when you left, where did you go to?
we from Vladivostok, we went down to Della, and you could tell everybody that was coming from Siberia because we were all dressed in these heavy clothes and heavy boots down into this tropical Manila where everybody had on light clothes. And there was a dance. I was invited to go to the dance with one of the officers soon after we got to Manila. And I went in my big shoes and pajama uniform. That's all I had to wear.
What about, you said you stopped in Nagasaki when you went back?
No, that was another time.
Oh, okay.
That was another time.
You went, when you left Vladivostok, you went down
Went straight to Manila.
through the
Through the South Sea.
Okay, now where were you stationed in Manila?
I was stationed at Fort William McKinley, which is outside 10 miles, so outside of Manila. And we had a very nice time there.
Tell us about Manila. Who was the chief nurse there at Fort McKinley?
The chief nurse at Fort McKinley when I went there, I don't recall her name, but she got married, and nurses weren't allowed to work and be married in my day. They brought in Mrs. Julia Flicky, who had just come over on a transport. That was in June 1920. That's when Mildred came on the same transport. Yeah, Mildred Slaughter, good friend of mine, was sent out to Fort McKinley with Mrs. Flicky. Miss Slaughter was a she's a girl from Kentucky, from Hodgenville, Kentucky. And she was a laboratory technician. That's what I was trying to think of. And she worked in the laboratory at Fort McKinley. I worked in the operating room. And I did ward work too.
How long did you stay in Manila that
Yes.
Every minute we were off duty, we were sighted.
Very sad.
You went to Corregidor,
Oh, yes, we went to Corregidor, we went to
Baglio.
Baguio, yeah. Miss Clement and I, we went up to Baguio and spent 10 days.
What about,
Vacation.
in Manila? How big was the hospital at, the main hospital?
Sternberg.
Yeah.
Well, I think they take care of 200 or 300 patients, but they were always sending them back on the transport to months of the fit to travel. And of course, out at Fort McKinley, we had a station hospital, although we did operations there and about consults.
Remember any of the doctors there?
Well, our commanding officer that we had in Siberia was commanding officer there, and his name was, I can't remember.
We can add it in
Yeah,
later.
I can't remember his name.
What was the name of the outfit you were in? What
I was Station Hospital,
station?
Fort William McKinley.
When did you come home from there? What day and what shift did you come on? How long did it take?
The next year, the 1st of April, I was assigned to Tientsin, China for the rest of my days over there.
So you didn't stay in Manila all the time?
I stayed in Manila. I stayed in Fort William McKinley for a year. Then I went up to China and came back to Manila and waited there to sail.
Okay.
Oh,
How long were you in Tientsin, China?
from 1st of April until the last of September.
What year would that be?
That was 1921.
1921.
And then we waited in Manila for the transport to get ready to come back. We came back on the Sherman, on the transport Sherman.
How did you go from Manila to Tientsin? What transport did you go on?
The crew.
You went back up here. Okay, now where did you live in Tientsin, China?
We lived on Racecourse Road.
Was the nurses' quarters were not in the hospital?
Oh, no.
Where were they?
We lived on Racecourse Road in the British possession of Tientsin in those days, after the Boxer trouble, had been subdivided, and these different nations, these different,
They still know the town, but we won't.
and
Let's stop, Church.